guys, it's the Running Geek back with another episode of Let's Play Minecraft Pocket Edition. As you can see, I kind of have a slight chicken problem. I am still having issues with the chicken coop. Let me show you real quick. I am having problems with the chickens. Essentially, when the chunks load, the chickens disappear. As you can see, there's hardly any chickens left in here. But I've got a few ideas, but that is not what we are going to be working on today. I want to quickly show you what I've done on the inside, because I've gotten some of the interior done, not a whole lot, but I did get a few pieces done. I've got the this carpet done. I put up a painting. I put up another plant. Let me show you what I did down in the smeltery area. Down here, I did get all brick walls put in. I didn't make it fancy at all. I just put brick, I put stone slabs for the ceiling where it made sense, and then I put an oak floor in. So at least at least it's all, it looks polished. But, again, this is more of a maintenance area, so I wasn't really that concerned about doing a bunch of, interior decorating and making it look all pretty and stuff. So that's that. I got a little bit of work done in the bedroom. I did make a bed. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that sold on it. But we'll see. This is just temporary. I was just trying a few things out. I need to make some modern shelving unit and clothes storage thing. I've got a chest at the end of the bed. These chests will eventually go away. And then I did put the nether wart display out in the center of the room here, along with another little potted plant cactus. I don't know. I don't know if I like the nether wart, but I think it's totally fine for now. It's interesting. It's different. Let me just say that. It's different. So that'll work. One thing I did also want to point out, we've got to get rid of these torches as well, but I'm not really going to work on lighting until I get the interior done, and then I'll worry about that. Each of the rooms has a little bit different of pattern on them, and I did that just for a little bit of variety, so you can see in this room, the storage room, we've got a little bit different pattern. In this room, we've got a little bit of a different pattern. Let's see, did I make a pattern in this one? Not yet. I haven't made a pattern in that one yet. But that's what I've gotten done on the interior. But again, this is not what we're going to be working on today. I did put a little chair there, but that's cool. What we're going to be working on today, and it's getting close. Let's take a sleep real quick. Alright, so what we're going to be working on today is something that I really like to do in the game, not necessarily to really pass the time, but in order to get special items, and bows especially, and books, and also saddles. And that is fishing. I know it's not that efficient, to do, and I know it can be a little bit boring, so I'm not going to do a lot of fishing on camera or anything like that. I'll probably do a lot of off-camera work, but we need an appropriate place to fish, and so what I'm thinking is we create kind of like a modern fishing pond, and, so it'll be kind of like a tiered, kind of squarish type of pond thing with water flowing down, and then ultimately it'll flow down this hill and then flow back into the river. And so what we've got some terraforming and building to do, and so what I wanted to do today is, at least for the first half, is kind of do a time lapse of the building, and kind of show how that's gonna work. So with that, let's cue the music and go to a time lapse. Alright guys, we're going to take a short break in between the time lapses here because I've got the basic structure done and I want to kind of walk you through what I'm thinking. So you probably saw in the time lapse there that originally I kind of had a chain of these little squares kind of going all the way down and almost out to the bridge there. After looking at it from up the top, it's going to rain. Excellent. It was just one of those things that it just was too big for the modern house. I mean, it was almost as big as the modern house, and I didn't want the fishing pond to really kind of take over that. The other thing is there wasn't really a great way because it got all the way almost over to the walkway over here. There wasn't going to be like a nice little path. Let me jump down and show you what I'm thinking for a path. It's kind of like just a natural incline here. So what I'm thinking is the walkway will kind of go through here, go up here, more of it a diagonal. And then up here is going to be a fishing dock area that's going to be kind of very well protected. So that would be kind of cool because we can maybe like build like a roof or something like that on top of it so nothing sneaks up behind us. But this would be where you fish. And so there'll be water and it'll be deep here. I'll dig that out. And then the water is going to flow over to this little pool right here. And then what we'll have is we will have the water flowing. Oh, fell down here. We'll have the water flowing into this final pool here. And let me get up here. And then finally it'll flow kind of down here and back into the river. So much smaller footprint than what we had before. So I think this is going to be good. I really like the way that this turned out. I like the first one too. It just didn't fit that well. And this is going to be all smooth stone for the outer of the pools. And then I'm going to build up the land. I'll put some rocks and make it kind of like a natural landscape. And we're going to try and get that done this episode as well. So I want to kind of show you guys and take a short break, kind of explain what I was doing before we proceed to the next step. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed that time lapse. I decided to do a little bit of off-camera work, number one, just because, it was a lot of the same type of work, and and I really didn't want to keep going on the time lapse with that because you couldn't see a lot of the progress that I was making. But man, have I made some progress. Not as far as I wanted to get, but let me show you and go over there, and I'll walk you through kind of some of the progress that I've made here. One of the things that I struggled with a little bit on this build was the pathway up to the fishing area. So if you come down the walkway here, we're going to have this path which kind of gently goes up these stairs. And I kind of tried to play around with like a more diagonal path, but I couldn't get anything that really looked modern. So I decided to kind of go with more of a square path with that, which I think turned out really well. Then up here is going to be kind of like the fishing dock, if you will. Not really a dock, but I'm going to have some like wooden benches. I may even create like a fishing shack up here as well, where all my fishing poles will go and that sort of thing. This is going to be the main pool for fishing, and I decided to go with andesite all along the outside just to make it stick out a little bit more, because what I was finding is with the smooth stone, it was kind of blending into the background, so I wanted that to stick out a little bit more. So this is going to be the main fishing pool, and you can kind of see the mix of rocks there. I did put a kind of a big boulder right here, and the landscaping is not done. We still have trees, we still have grass to put in, probably no flowers or anything like that. We got bushes to put in, so we have a lot to do left. But time is kind of running short for me to get this episode out and kind of make this happen here. So I wanted to at least get us to a point where we could at least fish, and then we can kind of fine tune from there. So this is going to be a second pool. Water is going to pour down into here. And then this is the third pool. I put another boulder right there. Third pool. And then the water will flow down into here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the bridge here, because really the main brunt of my work you can't even see from the top there. But I want to show you some of the terraforming that I did and kind of show you what I was thinking. So if we kind of turn around and look over here, I have done a lot of work. So you can kind of see this kind of rock palette. Probably need a few more rocks on the side there, but right there is where the water is going to pour out. So this is kind of like a waterfall area. So I really did try to do build this in rocky, because in real life, if that water was flowing over, you'd have a lot of erosion. So a lot of that's going to be rock, and that should look, I think, pretty realistic. So that's a lot of the work. Also did some terraforming over here. It's not great yet. You can see there's still a little bit of a squariness and blockiness here, but we'll kind of correct that. We'll get that working for us. We'll get some grass added. I was also thinking about some vines and mossy cobblestone and that sort of thing to make it look a little bit more realistic. But I think what I want to do now is let's go ahead and get the water in, because I do have a tip that I want to share with you guys. Because I do want to make this at least fishable. And it is about to sunset. So let's go inside. Let's go to sleep. On the way in there, I will show you how busy my smelter has been here. So let's go inside real quick. I want to show you everything that's been smelting up. Check that out. Almost a full double chest of stuff that's been smelting. So it has been hard at work. All right, let's head back outside. Oh, that's a cool horse. I like that horse. Kind of like a Clydesdale or something. Kind of cool, all white. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to start filling these, and what we should do is let's fill from the bottom up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make what we want to do for the water is just fill one layer in, and then what we should be able to do is dig down, and the water will fill itself up. It'll become a little bit easier to understand when we get to where we have a multi-layer water source. But let's get that going here. Let's get some water down. Okay, filling that up. I think we just got a couple more water sources here till the water stands still. Looks like we've got one more, maybe. Or is that going to flow like that? think that looks pretty good. So now what we can do, if we take those blocks out, those automatically become, those become water sources? Yes, they should become water sources. Yes, they are water sources. Perfect. So that's kind of just a tip, how to kind of fill in these pools. Let's fill in this one together, because this one is going to be a little bit harder, or a little bit easier to see kind of how that works. So we just fill in one layer here. Now the other way that you can do this too is with ice blocks. But since we haven't found a ice biome yet, or a snow biome, and we don't have those available to us, we will be using water sources. Alright. And we're getting pushed out, and that's alright. Excellent. Almost getting pretty close. So it's kind of it makes it kind of easy and effective to kind of get these water sources in. And I think we're good. So now what we can do is we can take our shovel, dig the dirt out, and again, those will all turn to water sources. So it kind of makes it kind of nice rather than trying to fill up from the bottom. So you can see if I go float down to the bottom here, if those weren't water sources, you would see the air come kind of flow in. Alright guys, well I got that filled in. That wasn't too difficult. And I just want to walk you through kind of how this turned out here. So here's the main fishing pond area. There's the just the secondary where that drains to. Those falls are looking pretty cool. And then it finally dribbles down into here where it's going to then fall off into the waterfall area. Let me jump across here so you can kind of see what this looks like. I think it turned out really good. I'm going to put some like mossy cobblestone, I think on the sides, and then definitely in the back behind the water. But you know, it's just kind of a nice little gentle waterfall. And I think that turned out really good. I'm really happy with that. Again, we still have a bunch of things to do around here. We've got bushes, we've got grass, we've got some trees and things to put up. But that's, you know, it's all going to have to wait. But what I really wanted to do is I wanted to do a little bit of fishing on camera, because I think that the fishing is a little underrated in Minecraft here. So you can see already I caught something. This fishing rod has Luck of the Sea 3, Unbreaking 3, and Lure 3. So it is essentially the top of the line fishing rod. And I was able to actually get that in 2 enchants, which is pretty crazy, but it's not so crazy because there's only 3 enchantments that can go on a fishing pole. So it's not that unbelievable. But what I want to do is I want to show you guys how quickly you can get things. Because again, I think a lot of people kind of view fishing as kind of just one of those useless tasks. You can see already I pulled in a bunch of fish. Got a goldfish there. But it's really useful to find some of those rare items, especially like bows and books. I find are the 2 most useful things, along with saddles. You know, if you're looking for horses and that sort of thing, you can really get your saddle collection up really quick here. I just want to fish here until I pull something out so you guys can kind of see. The other thing is name tags too. I can show you, but I've pulled out 17 name tags already from this little fishing pool, which is just crazy. And I really haven't done that much fishing. And we're probably not going to get anything useful here. It's becoming nighttime, so that's always good. Got a bunch of fish. Fish is always good for food. There we go. So we got a book. And on the book, Unbreaking 3. I mean, it's not great, but it's not that bad either. Let me show you what I've done a little bit of fishing, and I've gotten all this stuff from fishing. Obviously not the netherrack or the rock, but I've gotten all these fishing rods. I've gotten all the bows. I've gotten all those books. Let me show you too real quick. We've got a bunch of name tags. I got like 17 name tags. which is just crazy. So I put those name tags up there, 18 name tags. I've got a bunch of saddles, which is great, and then also a bunch of books. So let's put that book up there. So, fishing is just one of those things. Oh, looks like my armor boots broke too. Fishing is one of those things that, it can be kind of time consuming. And I'm not going to do a lot on camera, but I wanted to show you guys that it can be really useful, especially in a starter area. Especially like when you lose your bow. You always need additional bows. Also, that bow, it's a never-ending supply of bows for dispensers as well. So you don't have to keep creating bows either. But yeah, with that, guys, I think we're going to call it an episode. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.